MI-24 Hind. Manufacturer, Mil Moscow Helicopter Plant. Type, two-seat gunship helicopter. Power plant, two Klimov TB3-117MT turboshafts. Principal armament, one Yak-B 12.7mm machine gun, four 9M 17P Scorpion anti-tank missiles, 20 80mm S-8 rockets. Carrying capacity, 8 troops. Maximum cruising speed, 185 miles per hour.
Nicknamed the Crocodile, the Hind is a cold-blooded predator for the Cold War age. Capable of tearing through tanks, men, and machinery, it's seen battle on 3 continents and become a symbol of Soviet muscle.
If you're up against a Hind, what is it like? They're going to do a whole lot of damage because they do look ugly, they look mean, so it sends a signal.
Delivered to the Russian Army in the 1970s, the Hind was a unique concept in helicopter design, combining 2 very different roles within a single airframe.
They attempted to put 2 helicopters in one by having an attack helicopter that also had a cabin section which was large enough to carry troops. Now that would be attempting to do what the U.S. Army does today with a combined Apache and Blackhawks. They were trying to do that with 1 helicopter.
The result was a chopper that could carry 8 armed troops into battle and then unleash its payload. Air-to-ground missiles, 750 30mm rounds, 2 57mm rocket pods. The Hind wasn't so much a crocodile as a pterodactyl with guns and attitude.
It looks cruel with its little stub wings and its all those rocket pods and missiles underneath. It's the sort of lurking nightmare of any man who's ever manned a tank in a NATO army.
The Hind's bulk gives it significant protection against rifle fire and rocket-propelled grenades. In one combat mission, a Hind returned safely to its base with 20 bullet holes in its fuselage, rotor blades, and fuel and hydraulic systems.
The Hind is a flying armored bathtub. It'll take ridiculous amounts of fire so that really only the rotor and part of the airframe are still there, and it'll still have live soldiers in it.
It did very well in the early stages of the war in Afghanistan. So well that the United States decided that they needed to help counter that and introduced the Stinger missile to the battlefield.
Hundreds of Hinds were shot down, its heat signature proving to be just one of many Achilles' heels. The Hind wasn't equipped with night vision. When fully loaded, it had to make a rolling takeoff. And more significantly, it had a tendency to chop its own tail rotor off when it banked sharply. But the Hind has endured, and operations in Chechnya and around the world have proved that the crocodile still has plenty of bite.
There's just a mean, violent attack helicopter. The MI-24 certainly can carry a lot, hang around a long time, and make life very difficult for the enemy.
The Hind scores excellent marks for fear factor. It also does well in service length and versatility. Survivability against small arms fire is good, but that heat signature and lack of maneuverability costs it dearly, leaving it 6th in the list.